Hello, 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 it's me, Tina Eloise, the Inner Wealth Witch. Oh my God, what is going on with the Barnet? Look at these bits of hair sticking out everywhere. Yes, I'm coming in live for day 2 of Radical Receiving. So, you know, it's midweek really because we had a warm up on Monday. How are you finding it all, my darlings? Let me know. How's it all going? I know there's some procrastination going on. Some people are late to join the party. This is normally the time when the resistance starts coming up, right? So this is normally the time, midweek, you're doing the tapping, you're doing your brags, you're taking time for yourself and giving yourself permission and taking up space. So the resistance starts to show up. So it's all perfectly normal, but if we're going to change anything, we need to stay committed and move through this, right? So remember what I was saying about the energetic set points, and your body will fight and your brain will join the party in fighting to stay the same, because that's the energy that it's used to. That's the energy, the capacity of the energy that it's used to. So that's what the resistance is, right? It's the resistance to change. So I'm asking you, or, you know, advising you, guiding you to move through this. Stay the course. Keep doing the tapping. Keep doing the brags. Keep opening your arms to the universe and say, I'm ready to receive the love, the prosperity, the golden shower of abundance. So just keep at it. So today's all about receiving, and I've got a really big task for you guys. Really big task for you guys. So yesterday we done the ask. So we got clear on what we wanted, and we've done a bit of fear inventory around what fears were coming up around having it and not having it, and why we were staying stuck. Why it wasn't already in our life, and we've done some reframing around that using affirmations and affirmations. And sorry, I'm watching my cat because he's being a little shit. And yeah, so like I said, just like I've been saying all along, it's just the miracle menage a trois, right? So you have the mindset, the energetics, and the embodiment practices. So today we're going to be talking about the embodiment practices. And with the mindset stuff, whenever you're feeling into resistance, do fear inventory of it. You know, like just ask yourself, right, 5 reasons why I shouldn't have this, or I don't want to do this, or what 5 reasons why it's positive that this isn't showing up in my life, or 5, and then do 5 reasons why you just totally deserve it. Do you know what I mean? Just find out what the fears and beliefs are, and then reframe them. And if you're acting from that space of like where, say you're trying to manifest more clients, so you reframe, like you might have a fear that you don't believe that clients will pay you for what you've got or for what you do for them. So you reframe that. Why do clients love paying me? And act from that space. Like, clients love paying me, so this is how I'm going to act. So that's all tapping into, like, that one, that's tapping into the field of the quantum field of limitless possibilities, and 2, that's you acting as if your future self. You're becoming the embodiment of your future self, that version of you where clients easily pay her. Does that make sense, guys? So there's so much power in the mindset work, right? And then the embodiment practice and everything kind of falls in place. It's a both and situation. It's not just all mindset. It's not just all embodiment and somatic work. It's both, you know? You are both. You've got a mind and you've got a body. You've got the masculine and you've got the feminine. So you need to address both of them. And today we're talking about receiving, which is the pleasure. Pleasure and the masculine. So your capacity to receive is 1, your relationship with the feminine and how she, you know, how she gives to herself, basically, you know, how she nurtures herself and all that kind of stuff. And also if you trust her, if you trust your body, and all this kind of stuff, like there's all mother wound, and also if you're owning your desires, which is all kind of which is all the whore wound, not owning our desires sexually or, you know, materially. And then it's also the trust of the provision, which is the masculine, yeah? So the masculine is the provider and the protector. That's the energy. And funnily enough, it's the same kind of energy, that it's the same energy as, not energy, the same purpose as money. You know, money provides and gives us security and safety. And that's what the masculine energy is, yeah? So it's the provider, security, safety, pleasure. Although, you know, feminine can bring you pleasure. But it's the going and getting energy, right? It's the action energy. It's the, okay, the who, what, where and when energy. It's the one that wants to, okay, you tell me, like, so the feminine decides what she wants and her desires. What she desires is, I don't know, like I said before about getting clients. What she desires is to get more clients. So he goes and gets them and brings her opportunities as to when she's going to get them. But if she doesn't trust it, she either feels that there's going to be a negative connotation to that, like what I said in a few lives before, or she belittles the offering. You know, he comes back and he's like, here you go. And it's like, oh, that's not enough. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, okay, that's good, but, you know. And he wants to be celebrated. He wants you to say, thank you very much. Like, thank you for doing this for me. But we don't. Like, we we diminish it. Like, it's not good enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many times have you received something and you haven't celebrated it, you've shrugged it off, you thought it was a fluke, and it's like your masculine energy is like, right, okay, why should I be bringing, do you know what I mean? Why am I going to show up when I'm going to get this response all the time? So we really have to look at, you know, our relationship with that energy and celebrate every little thing that comes into our lives, right? Every tiny little thing. Like, I got a message last night from someone from way from my past, and he's not really from my past. He's actually the brother of one of the regulars that used to drink in my pub like 15 years ago, right? I'm not even friends with him on Facebook, so I must have come up as someone, you know, suggested someone you might know or something. And he sends me this message, just giving me all these compliments. Oh my God, you look really good. I really like your look, and blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, what the fuck? But I take that as a compliment, you know, out of the blue compliment. Tick, thank you, big you. Like, do you know what I mean? So he's celebrating those little things. And my cat was all snuggly last night. It's like, yeah, my cat's all snuggly with me. And I had like the best sleep and the best dinner yesterday. And it's just savouring all those moments and celebrating. And that brings me into pleasure. That brings me into the pleasure piece of this. And I can't believe there's no one on live. It's really strange. That brings me straight back into the pleasure piece, right? So the feminine is the body, yeah? And pleasure, it can be sexual, obviously. But pleasure is exciting and titillating and teasing the five senses. So your sight, your nose, your sight, smell, sound, taste, and kinesthetic feel, right? And anything that you do that's pleasure based, it brings you back in your body. So you could, you know, watch your favorite film and eating an ice cream and really savoring it and not feeling guilty about it. We need to stop with this guilty pleasure thing. There is no guilt in pleasure. It should be fucking a priority in everyone's life to put pleasure before fucking everything. Because when you're in pleasure, when the feminine's in pleasure, that's her eros, that's her turn on. And when she's turned on, she's magnetic, right? And I'm not necessarily saying that you've got to walk around like gagging for it all day. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that you're feeling in love and in tune and playful and wanting to play with the universe a lot more, and you know, you're excited. That's her. When she's in her pleasure, that's her magnetism, that's her radiance, that's what attracts people to her, right? And she's like irresistible to the masculine energy when she's in that state. So that's why we do pleasure practices. One, it feels really good. Two, it brings us back into our body, right? So manifestation is through the body. We do it a lot in our head, like you get taught a lot of the stuff in the head, like doing the mindset, think positively, but it's not, it's through the body. And you know, as I said before, like your energetic set points to everything in your life is in the body. So bringing yourself back into pleasure, like exciting your senses, like maybe tasting food, smelling all the spices when you're cooking, just really savoring the moment and really exciting your body. It settles down your nervous system, right? And opens to the capacity, it helps your capacity grow, it increases your capacity to hold and receive more. Say hello if you're joining live or if you're watching a replay. I should have said that at the beginning, shouldn't I? And so, I mean, you can receive to the capacity to which you give to yourself, right? And the more you give yourself, the more you can receive. And remember what I said yesterday about, you know, when you're giving the kiss of life to someone, you have to receive before you give. So finding pleasurable practices in your life on a daily, whether it's 5 minutes or 4 freaking hours, whether you're sitting there for 5 minutes and just being really mindful, having a coffee and just loving every minute of it, to if you're sitting, you know, in a goddess bath with all the flowers in for hours on end, whatever that is for you, whatever that looks like for you, do it. Make it a priority in your life because you're giving to yourself. And by giving to yourself, I know that it's going to freak people out because like, oh my God, no, I can't put myself first. But seriously, you are the most important thing in your life, because if you don't look after yourself, if you don't connect back with your body, if you don't bring pleasure practice into your life, it's going to lead you to overwhelm, hustle, burnout, fibromyalgia, like all these kinds of autoimmune diseases and illnesses that attack the body. It's because there's a disconnect there. So bringing pleasure practices back into your life, not only does it settle your nervous system, which helps you hold and receive more, it also gives you clarity. It also helps you focus. It also helps you be magnetic and more expansive. It also opens you up to so many different possibilities, and it's fucking fun and exciting, right? You're becoming more intimate with yourself, and the more intimate you are with yourself, the more intimate you are with the universe, and the more intimate you are with the universe, the easier it is for you to create. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Anyway, I'm going on a bit of a blah, 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 because I've got no interaction going on here. So yeah, as I said, you can bring pleasure into your life. I'll post some instances in here, but I mean, just listening to music, like closing your eyes and listening to music and letting the sound waves go right through you, allowing yourself to feel what it's like in the body. And I mean, the thing is, if you've got trauma and stuff in your body, sometimes it can be a bit scary connecting with your body again. But that's why these pleasure practices, that not sexual, I mean, if you want to do sexual pleasure practice, go ahead, go have at it. I highly recommend. But simple ones like touching, like bring yourself back to the moment. If you go through the day and you hit frustration or you hit an overwhelm, bring yourself back into the moment. And, you know, taking a deep breath, which is the easiest form for us to receive, right? And we don't breathe to the full capacity of our lungs. That's how fucked up we are as humans. We're not used to receiving. But if you take like a few deep breaths, you are instantly connecting back with your body. You are instantly bringing yourself back into that now moment, and you are instantly opening up your capacity to receive, because you're receiving life force energy, which is, you know, it gives you life on this earth. You wouldn't be here without breath. And often, you know, especially people with anxiety, they breathe from up here and don't breathe from down there. So a good daily breath work is a great way to bring pleasure into your life and connect you back with your body. But also touch. And actually in the Big Juicy Takeover, which you'll find over in the guides, which is a challenge that I done like back in June, there's actually a thing in there called the elemental touch, which is, you know, earth, water, fire, air. and ether. And this is all the ways that you can touch your body, like fires, slap and pinch, and you know, that kind of thing. And earths like rubbing, like massage, and water's like a continuous flow around the body. Or you could do breast massages, like feel yourself, you know, get into it. You know, and or you can just concentrate on one part of your body. Just feel what your thumb feels like. When was the last time you really studied your thumb? Just bringing yourself back into your body, and just, because she's built for pleasure, right? Your body is built for pleasure. Like I don't think there's one part of your body that you can't touch that doesn't feel good. You know, and bringing yourself back into your body, allowing her to experience pleasure. But if you're not ready for that yet, then by all means use other, like listening to music, tasting food with your eyes and ears closed. So you're just focusing on the sensation of taste. Like really looking at colours, like flowers, smelling them, like, you know, just getting really into the moment and you're basically making love with your reality. And that's what, that is basically what pleasure is, right? You're exciting the five senses with your reality. You're making love to your reality. So, and also with pleasure, and do you remember yesterday we were talking about the emotions that you're going to feel when you receive your desires? So, you know, you might experience freedom, or you might be experiencing more success, love, compassion, happiness, whatever that is. Doing pleasure practices helps promote those feelings already. Oneness, intimacy, euphoria in some senses. You know, when you're when you're masturbating or something, you have an orgasm, like is one of the most euphoric things that you could do for yourself, right? Or whether you're making love or having sex or fucking whatever you want to call it with someone else. When you orgasm, it's that euphoric emotion, right? It goes right through the body. So pleasure promotes mostly, I say, a whole spectrum of emotions that you want to call in. So the more you practice it, the more you're sitting in on those emotions and feelings, right? I mean, at the beginning, you'll probably have some resistance to it. So do like the fear inventory. So how, you know, if I allow more pleasure in my life, what's a negative consequence of that? What's the positive consequence of that? What's the negative consequence if I don't allow it in my life? And what's the positive consequences of if I don't allow it in my life? Do a little fear inventory of it and see what comes up when it comes to pleasure. And yeah, so talking about receiving, so we're going to receive pleasure. I want you to take, like, at least once a day, allow yourself 5 minutes where you are just connecting with yourself. Don't include it in, I mean, if you already have pleasure practices in place, add another one in, right? Add another one in. Step it up, push it to the edge. So when it feels like a little bit edgy, it's like, oh, I'm getting there. It's like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Push yourself over the edge a little bit. Lean into that edge a little bit. And what we're going to do today is we're going to open ourselves up to love, right? We're going to ask the masculine to show us some love, or bring all the love to us. And I've got a task for you guys. It's a big one, and a lot of you ain't going to want to do it, but I'm going to get you to do it. It's something that I've done myself various times. I get clients to do it all the time. But this is to open you up, as I said before, to receive. Yeah, you're going to put the big ask out there, and you're going to receive. So what I want you guys to do is write a post on Facebook or on IG or whatever social media account is, just saying, what do you love about me? Oh, what? No, I can't put that in public. What will people think? Oh my God, people think I'm so vain. Oh my God, I'm going to get rejected. What if no one comments? Oh my God, it's the shame. I know. But believe me, this is why we do it. We face the fear of it and we put it out there anyway. And the reason we do that is because it transmutes the shame. Hi, Lisa. Oh, you are there. I didn't see your message. I didn't see the comment, darling. Sorry. The reason we do it is to transmute that shame and the guilt that we have around receiving love. Okay? And transmute that shame, alchemize that shame and guilt and fear that we have around rejection and being vulnerable. So this is why I'm asking you to do that today. This is why I'm asking you to really step out of your comfort zone and go out there and ask your following, ask people on Facebook. If you've got a group, put it in your group, but I say do it freaking publicly. What do you love about me? Tag me in the comments so I can see it. And everyone that's in this group that's doing this challenge, I really ask you to support your fellow sisters here. So jump on their posts, give them some love and all that, because once one person sees that someone on there giving them love, it will entice others to do it. Now, I know there's a huge fear about no one commenting. Oh my God, what's it going to look like if no one comments? It's going to mean that I'm not loved and all this kind of stuff. Believe me, it's not about you. Whoever's on your wall, it's their shit. It's got nothing to do with you. It's their shit. And, you know, all the years that I've been doing this challenge, all the years that I've been asking people to step up and take up space and ask this question on a live or, you know, on Facebook or in public, there's only one person that hasn't had any comments. Only one person. And then when everyone went on there from the group, then people from her Facebook started commenting. But she didn't have much of a presence. She didn't use Facebook that often, and, you know, the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. But this is a great lesson, and it's a great alchemizing tool, guys. It's a great way to show the universe that you're open to receive love and you're willing to put yourself out there, and that you're committed to receiving, and that you're committed to alchemizing the fear, shame and guilt from both sides, being vulnerable, being judged, and from being vulnerable and being sort of got brain fart a little bit, being judged, and you're willing to alchemize it now. And this is the surefire way, and you might be surprised. Because everyone who's done this exercise has never regretted it. Ever. They've loved it. So yeah, and that's all for today, guys. I hope you're enjoying the challenge. There's a couple of check-in points coming in this week, so I want you today. So I've put a few posts out there just to check in and see how you're doing. Seeing what's showing up for you right now, whether it's resistance or wins, and, you know, you're being showered with all this kind of good stuff. And yeah, keep doing your brags and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually loving seeing you all show up and taking up space and stepping into your moreness. I'm loving. It's what I live for. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to cover today, my loves. Let me see. So do a fear inventory around pleasure and write a post saying, what do you love about me on Facebook? Ooh. And if you're worried about how it's going to harm your business as well, let me just say this. As I said before, you can write in the group, put it in a group. It won't harm your business at all, because you'll be surprised at how many people out there would love the opportunity to show you some love. Anyway, guys, I will speak to you later. Back tomorrow for giving, and that'll be early in the morning, and then I'll post the link as well tomorrow for the evening session with me on Zoom. So, love you loads. Bye.